Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you around wevideo. The first thing I want to explain to you is that what you see on my screen is going to look a little different than your screen as a student. Because I've been doing this a long time, and because I'm a teacher, I have this admin button and a few other things. I'm going to put a photograph in here of what a kid's dashboard would look like. It'll have, I believe, projects, media, and export. So you won't have these 6 tabs, you'll have 3. And it'll probably be a lot less cluttered here. I've obviously got millions of photos and videos and other junk here. You're probably just going to have those first few photographs you've taken, unless you maybe did another module where you used wevideo. You'll probably have 4 photographs and a video clip here, and that's fine, okay? Okay. This is what we call the timeline down here. Audio is obviously where music and things can go. Video, you might have more than one layer of video going on, which is kind of a handy thing to have. Let's click around. You've got these folders here. This star here, this is kind of interesting. They actually have a media. Say you were doing something about, you were talking about maybe you went on a vacation to Jamaica. And so if we say beach, it has all sorts of media here. There's a tilt shifted beach, and if I hit play, oh, look at that, the waves are crashing over here. That's pretty cool. All right. So there's already some stuff preloaded in here. I'm going to move that up to number 2 from wevideo. This folder here, this second folder that looks like a folder with a star in it, should have all of your media here. Okay. The next thing we have, and I'm going from kind of left to right here, is text. There's all sorts of different titles and stuff we can do in here. I prefer to use the static ones, and by static it means they don't move. This big old guy right here, there's your sample text, and should be, actually, let's do, so if I click on it, if I click on the box, and I say, I don't know, whatever, tech ed rules, oops, not rooks, rules. And I save the changes, and I move this over. Now watch this. Tech ed rules. Go ahead and hit play. Come on now. You can see, by the way, we didn't talk about the cursor. Obviously, this blue guy here with the line, and these are all the seconds of your video. And there's my beach. Very nice. Okay. Maybe I want to move. Pause. Come on, pause. My mouse is kind of sticky. If you can see here on this video 2 line that because of my my beach scene here, my thing doesn't quite fit in there. Doesn't quite fit. So it gives me this option. I can either trim it to fit, which would mean cut something off of my little title there, or I can say insert and push, and if I do that, it'll kind of shove this thing over. All right. So I've got titles here. There's all sorts of different ones you can look at. And again, if you click on them when they're on the timeline here, it gives you the ability to edit them. Here, I'll change the color. Look at that. Look at that. Now it says Tech Ed Rules in red. All right. So we've gone from the pre-made ones they give us. This is our media folder of the stuff we've uploaded, which you learned to do in Activity 2. Here's my titles. I'm going to go to audio. Let's put some music under here. All right. Gonna grab, let's see, Jazz Club, and put it underneath here on the audio line because it's sound. And if I hit play, so now you can hear that music in the background. Pretty spiffy. I don't want my music going the whole way here though, so when I bring it to the end of this slide and I click the little scissors here, I can either move or I can delete that section there. Another neat thing about music is if we kind of zoom in on it, by the way, here's the zooming button. If I click plus, it kind of makes everything a little bigger, easier to work on. These little dots here, I make a dot here and I make a dot here. I can make the music fade in. Oops, I didn't grab it quite at the beginning there. So you can kind of see this line sliding up here. So listen to how the music goes from quiet to louder. Now in movie talk, we would call that fading in. And I can do the same thing at the other end, call it a fade out, put a dot there, pull that down. If I move down to the end, listen to the music now, it'll get quieter toward the end. Until it entirely fades out. All right. Now one more thing we've got going on here. On this next row here.
Please dismiss the boys and girls cross country teams. The boys and girls cross country teams.
Now, kind of in between this title slide and my beach scene, the transition between the two is very abrupt. It's very sudden. These are all we call transitions here, and there's all sorts of different ones. I can do this, what's called a cross dissolve, and kind of squish it in there. And watch this. See how it kind of all pixelated out there? Or I can delete that and put another one in here. Or I'll put this curtain one in here, and you'll see the curtain open and close. Very nice. And then down here we have some other effects that we can just kind of put in. You won't be using those until much later. So this just kind of gives you a general idea of where things are. By the way, when you start making a project, up here is where you name it. So I would call this Mr. Pat Act 3, or you might say Billy's Room 200 Tour, or whatever it is. Now you can see the titles up here. As I'm going, before I exit out, if I click here on these little bars, there's a save, save as, things like that. Those are, I would say, pretty important to me. So anyway, these are all the different options we have here on wevideo. You can click and kind of play around with these guys. Most of these are pretty important to you. This is where you upload your media if you need more stuff to upload. And of course, after you've exported something, which I've exported a million things, you will have something that kind of looks like this here that'll show your finished projects that you've exported from wevideo and that you can share with your teacher. All right, so it wouldn't hurt for you to go into one of your projects, click on edit, and just try to do some of these things. Bring in some music, bring in some clips, put in some titles, put in some transitions, and those will really help you when you get to making your own projects. Now in activity 4, we're going to teach you how to kind of cheat and with one button make an awesome video with a thing called a theme. But I just wanted to share these with you right now. In the past, you had to watch about 6 videos made by wevideo that actually don't even look like this, the way everything's set up. So it was very confusing for students. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you, kind of giving you a bit of an introduction here. All right, good luck.